There we go.
Here we go.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to another webinar. My name is Clark. I'm going to be your host today. Unfortunately, our good friend Austin is not feeling so well today. So unfortunately, all you got is me. But don't worry, we do have one more with us today. Deanna is here to aid us, which I'm very thankful for because she is way more knowledgeable on our training content, even though I teach it. So she is our training director. What's your actual title, Deanna?
That would be Director of Training Operations, Clark.
Director of Training Operations. She's the best. We could not do our jobs without her. So we're really excited to have her in. Deanna, if you want to say anything about yourself or just get started, feel free to kick it off.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm Deanna. I'm super excited to be here. I hate that Austin couldn't join us today, but I hope you leave impressed. So here we go. So we're going to, walk you through a lot of things today, but to really get you started, our main thing about it, that is for you to go to appsheettraining.com and actually set up a profile. From here, you can get emails from us to know what's going on, as well as participate in all kinds of different trainings and some free resources there that are loaded weekly. So the next part is to sign up for a tech talk. In that tech talk, you actually get to walk through what you're trying to do with AppSheet with Austin, and Austin can help recommend the learning path to take, but also if AppSheet is the right tool for you. And then lastly, our hope is that you participate in AppSheet training and level up that career of yours. So. All right. So today we're going to do that webinar, of course, as you know, you're already here. And you'll be provided with webinar slides, as well as a quick reference guide to the app we're going to show you, an app template that you can take and run with, as well as the data for that app. That way you can have a head start on what you're doing. But we do want to make you aware of the on-demand and boot camps that we have, because we enjoy making them. So the on-demand can be done anytime, anywhere, as long as you got an internet connection. And we have six courses out right now. And we'll be releasing a couple more in the coming year. So from there, you can look at all kinds of things for AppSheet, walk you through. You leave with just a great understanding of what we offer. Boot camps, Clark already told you he is an instructor. Boot camps is a live instructor-led thing that will allow you to leave with app templates, Google Sheets data, a certificate that you can share, session materials, including like printable documents and a finished app in both of our boot camps. And then also you have live Q&A. So you have time to ask your questions as they relate back to what you're trying to do in AppSheet. But all of that's done through our boot camps. So if any of that just like captures your attention, I would like to ask that you head on over to appsheettraining.com and just check out what we have. So.
And I want to add, we do have a lot of free resources. Like a lot of things it's just things if you sign up for an account, which is free, you get access to the AppSheet IQ, you get access to those tech talks, you can chat with somebody and try to find a solution for some of your projects. So there's a lot of really, really helpful resources just in the website.
Yeah, as well as weekly blogs. I want to just tag onto that.
Yeah.
Austin writes a blog weekly and walks through actual app development and some things in apps that, you maybe didn't know possible. And so even if you just follow for that, it would be well worth your time in learning AppSheet and applying things quickly. This is our training team. Incredible guys. I am excited to say that each one of these guys work with our development clients as well as provide professional consulting and are familiar with all of our trainings. So they are sure to impress, and just are a wealth of knowledge to be able to answer questions and walk you through everything we've got going here at AppSheet Training. Yeah, that's what we got. And then I'm Deanna, as Clark said. I help write all of our content. I pair with each of these guys to say, hey, what are our clients needing? What are we looking to learn? What kind of questions are frequently asked? And then from there, we build our content and push it out to you. So if you're in this webinar right now and you're like, hey, I would love to learn whatever, I would love for you to throw it in the chat. Let us know so that we can build more supportive things for you.
Absolutely. And if you have any questions during the webinar, feel free to speak up at any point, because that's what we're here for. We're here for you guys. And then I did see a comment that someone couldn't hear us. I can hear Deanna. I assume that she can hear me. So I'm just making sure that we are all good on our sound. Yeah, I think so. Okay, cool. I'll take it away.
All right. So today we're going to be talking about a vehicle inspection app, but you're only going to see a glimpse of it. We are going to walk you through some key parts and walk you through how we got from what it used to be to what we made it in AppSheet. But if you find yourself wanting more, our on-demand vehicle inspection build path is that more for you. It will lead you through the app build of a vehicle inspection app from start to finish, including email automation. So if you're wanting more, this is the thing for you, and you can find that at appsheettraining.com. All right, Tech Talks, I've already told you about them, mentioned them, but if you are wondering, hey, is AppSheet the right thing for me? How do I move forward? What am I needing? And what am I not needing? Then a Tech Talk is definitely the thing for you. So we'll share these slides out with you for sure at the end of this webinar. And if you want to just click that see all available times, you can get signed up and meet one-on-one with Austin. All right, so today you'll get a set of webinar slides. So everything we have here, a quick reference guide that will walk you through just like quick aspects of our app, as well as the app template where you can edit it within AppSheet and make it your own, and then the Google Sheets data to go along with it. All right, so today we're going to walk through 4 parts. Essentially, we're going to do feature updates for AppSheet. We're going to walk you through the use case of a vehicle inspection app. We're going to walk you through the key features of the app that we created and are thinking through. And then we're going to walk you through how to build that app.
So on these feature updates, these are released to the AppSheet community sometimes daily. I did see today that there was a new set of updates, or yesterday that there was a new set of updates. So they're coming out with more things. They're trying to fix all those bugs that we may or may not be seeing in the background. So thank you, AppSheet, for that. But for this week's features and enhancements, if you are using Excel templates, they have improved the performance and the speed in which those are creating. I know that in the past, to make a simple Excel template, it could take, it took way longer than it needed to just generate that a template. So they have actually sped up that process quite a bit. And so it's going to feel a lot more like a Google Sheets template. So that's really nice. And then as some bug fixes, there were some problems with the preview as email, consistent with the email input. All that to say, the preview as at the bottom right of your AppSheet editor, where you are able to put somebody else's email and kind of pretend to be them, that was not working on some aspects of AppSheet. So that should be completely fixed. So pretty nice stuff there.
Thank you, Clark. All right. So, Clark, you can go ahead and move on to the next one for me. So if you have anything to do with vehicle inspections, and maybe you don't, but you can relate it back to something else, pretend that that's the paper form. And in fact, that is a paper form that we've retrieved from a place that did vehicle inspections. So you go through, you fill out that paperwork, check, check, check all the way down. You submit that checklist after each car. And then you've got to go through and enter that data in a computer somewhere and submit it to whoever it needs to be submitted to. So long, lengthy process, lots of papers. If you lose the paper, you're in real trouble, just it's paper. It's the automation that makes us kind of just go like, I wish I could just do my job instead of fill out this paper. So if you can relate to that, I'm glad because I definitely feel it. But yeah, so what we wanted was to take this and make something quicker, more efficient. Clark, you got something for me, bud?
Oh, yeah. I what I really wanted to do for the video was actually have a paper form and kind of rip it up or set it on fire. But I was told that was ill-advised. So
yeah, fires in the office are usually not encouraged. But
usually,
one day, Clark.
one day, excellent. Well, you heard it here first.
We have this paper form. And that paper could be, anything. I used to work in education, and the amount of paperwork that ran through my desk was obnoxious. But then came AppSheet. So let us show you. So the key features of this app are going to be that we need to be able to enter any truck, car, anything that walks on through. And be able to tap within that app and say, yes, the engine's good. No, the tires are bad. Here's why they're bad. Walk through, boom, boom, boom. I'm entering everything. Once that's done, I want to be able to hit submit, and everyone that needs to know or should have a report, get that report instantly. And so AppSheet is going to allow me to do that here. It's going to be really important, though, that we make sure that all of the parts necessary to make that flow work are present. So we're going to want to make sure to truly fit that full business process within this app. We don't want to forget something just in a bright, shiny screen. And so the next thing is that we want to have it update the records automatically. We don't want to have to go through and click each record to say update. We're going to want to make sure that that data is organized correctly, because if my data is not, it might make for some fails on the app. And just a side note, if that line alone is like, oh, how would I organize that data? We have a boot camp that is AppSheet Essentials that will walk you through that from start to finish. So if you're brand new to AppSheet and wondering, how do I organize a spreadsheet to work in AppSheet? That would be definitely a training for you. We're also going to want to connect that data to AppSheet, set up the views for our user experiences, our actions, behaviors, and my favorite are those automated PDF reports. We have an on-demand about those PDF reports. It's that advanced templates and document generation. So if you're interested in those after this, that's definitely an on-demand that you might want to check out. But yeah, so those are our key features, and that's what we're going to head towards with this app build. So are we ready?
Hope so. I do have a question from M. Tercy. Auto emails where you can update the app in the email. I believe you're talking about dynamic emails, which we aren't going over technically today in this demo, but we'll see how much time we have. I honestly probably will have time because I do tend to go pretty fast. And we can do a quick run through on those dynamic emails as well.
Also, Austin is a great resource for those as well. So if you're wanting to just hear more about them and what all they can do, he and I use automated emails all week long to update data in stuff we design and the work we're putting out, the blogs, everything. And so if you want to sign up for a tech talk, that might also be a great resource for you to just hear more and to know exactly where to learn those. So
excellent point. Cool. So we do have a couple more slides before we move on over to AppSheet. So there are some key important things to know about our data organization. We do have these two parent tables that are connected to a single child table. So you have employees that go to inspections, and you have equipment that go to inspections. So key to note that. And we are going to be looking at this editor right now, actually. So, oh, and I do, hopefully everybody can see my screen. I tried to zoom in a little bit. It's weird zooming in so much on a 4K monitor. But for our data, we have these three tables, like I said. We have our inspections table, which is going to be that child table. And then we have our two parents being the employee and the equipment tables. So you can notice that they have the foreign key of equipment ID right here. And then we also have a foreign key here. I like to make these a little bit pop out just a little bit more so they're easier to see. So we have blue there, and then we have this pinkish color. Let's make it pop. So that way we can easily see those two foreign keys there. And then if we journey on over to AppSheet, I am going to show you some of the column structure. I'm going to show you the views that we have. And then we have only one action and one automation, and I'm going to build those from, at least for the most part, from scratch. So we're going to dive in. But we have these three tables, as you can see here. And if we go into our columns, we have our columns for our employee table. If you guys, I'm going to zoom out one time. Hopefully everybody can still see. But we do have our email as that key. If you've done anything with us before, you know that we like to use the employee email or the user email as the key for that table. So that's really nice. The thumbnail, it does create this for us, this expression, when you do have a thumbnail. And then since we have that first and last name, it does create that computed name for us as well. So that's pretty nice. Thank you, AppSheet. And then nothing else over here. Typically, I like to actually delete this because I don't want it to show that. I want it to just show related inspections. I think that looks better.
Hey, Clark.
Yes.
Travis had a great question of, can a table, say the employee table, be a source table for multiple apps?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Great question. Yeah, so you can have as many apps as you want, and you can connect the same table over and over and over again to whichever app you need it to. So I have a lot of clients personally that they have a single employee table, and that is linked over their 20 some odd apps. And so if you adjust any information for that table in one app, it's going to reflect those changes in all of your applications. So yes, I definitely recommend it actually. Instead of trying to build out multiple tables with the same information and then having to change stuff when other things, it's that just sounds like a hassle. So I definitely recommend using that one table. It wouldn't have to be a tab within multiple sheets. No, you can use the same tab, the same sheet across multiple. Yes. Yes. Great question, Travis. Cool. Yeah, and if you guys have more questions, feel free to stop me, like I said, anytime. So next we do have our equipment table. Here we have the ID is that key. And And then we have two labels. If you're unfamiliar with that label, it is something that takes the place of the key. So you're not seeing that key. It's not going to show that 8-digit alphanumeric that looks terrible. It's going to show the image and the equipment name instead. So as you can see here for this equipment, we have this taco truck, which is a Tacoma, and we have this red sedan Toyota, and we have this white SUV Mazda. It is important to note that if you do want to have two labels, one of them has to be text and the other one has to be an image. There's no getting around it. Those are the only two things that can go into those label fields. And it has to be one of each. Can't have two images, can't have two texts. Excuse me. And then last, we have our inspection table. This one has the most columns. Typically, this is how inspection apps are going to be. They're going to have the most columns on those inspections because you're going to have all of your questions and you're going to have your notes and your pictures and whatnot. So we have our ID field here as the key. And then we have a couple of show columns. Some people like to use the double asterisk to just signify that that is that show type column. Me personally, whenever I am building an app, I will type out show. And if I use all caps, then that means it's a page header. If I use just a camel case like this, that means it's a section header. And that's just kind of how I do it. But it's really up to you guys on how you want to structure those things. Then we have our references. So we have that equipment ID. This is that reference, and you can see it is pointed to the equipment table. Name, license plate. Here's another show type column. So we have some documentation for that equipment or for that inspection. Then we have our vehicle interior. I can show you what this kind of looks like. Maybe. Looks like I need to create that action first, and that's fine. But I'll show you guys those show columns here in a little bit. And then we have a couple more show columns. These are going to go all the way down until we get to the inspector information, which that is misspelled. I'm going to change that because that's going to bug me. Information. Cool. So you should not be able to just change things like that. You used to have to actually regenerate the column structure, but AppSheet has since changed that, and we are good to go with our new spelling, which I'm happy to see. We have that employee ID here. This has that reference to the employees table. And then last but not least, we actually have a virtual column here called inspection date. So if you're not very familiar with the text formula, there's actually a lot of really, really cool things you can do with it. Changing date types date formats is one of them. But with this formula here, it's actually going to use the small print for your dates. So if it's, May 13th of 1994, which may or may not be my birthday, it's going to show a 5, a 13, and then a 94, rather than showing 0513 1994. So that's something really, really cool that the text expression is able to do there. So pretty neat stuff. Let's see, we don't have any slices in here, but we definitely could create some if we wanted to. So we're just going to keep going on into our views, our UX tab. I like to delete all of those hints on the left side. But but it's definitely not necessary. It's just something that I personally like to do. And then we do have another question. Thank you
Yeah, I
for
got you.
translating that.
Oh, perfect.
Thinking of an application that will receive a lot of data, would it be better to have one inspection table with several columns for each inspection, or several different tables with fewer? I mean, realistically, for the most part, it's going to be more efficient if you have everything in one table, to an extent. And it definitely depends on your specific use cases. But the more times that your app has to go cross table interaction, has to do those cross table interaction things, that's what's going to slow down your app. The more formulas you have that are going over to a table, coming back, going to a different table, coming back, that's what's going to slow down your app the most. So if you're able to kind of put those things in one spot, it will increase the efficiency of your application. Now, that being said, it might not look as good, right? I mean, typically your applications are going to look better whenever you have more references, whenever you're able to kind of separate that data into different spots. So it really just kind of depends on what you want. Fewer columns between them, which would be fat. Okay, so hopefully that answered your question, Matthias. And if not, feel free to let us know. Cool. Great question, though. So we're going to dive back into our UX here. We do, I believe, only have 3 views here that aren't system generated. We do have our employee view here. So I can click here and I can actually see the employees, which I'm kind of bummed that I'm not one of. So I'm going to have to get it on with Austin later.
Sorry, Clark.
Hate
to tell you this on a webinar, but
I got fired just like that, man.
I do want to point out though that this reminds me of my iPhone screen, which is super sweet. So those little circles, there's a blog post on that on how to do that within your apps. So check out appsheettraining.com in the blog page. And you can read about how we made that view, which is super great. So
pretty neat. Cool. So that's going to be our employee view. Next, we have equipment. So this is also a deck view. This is the one we see here. And you're able to have that image as well as our header, subheader, and then our summary information over here. Matthias, no worries on the English. It was great. I was actually reading it in Spanish, but I was not going to be able to explain things back to you in Spanish. So no worries. And then we do actually have an action here, which I deleted, so that's not even going to work. I deleted it so that we could actually build it. So we are going to build an action called inspection form here in a bit. And then our last view is going to be this inspections type view. It is a form view. And we are going to be using that action to get here. And then we do have a specific column order here. Not really sure why we have it like this. Actually, I like to do it like this. Okay. Now, you guys might be seeing this yellow triangle right here, and you might be saying, what is that? Why I keep seeing these yellow triangles in my app, and I don't know what they are. Let me tell you what that is. So this inspector name, this is off of our inspector table. And let's see. Let's see where my column is. So we have employee's ID. This should be that inspector's name. Yeah, so we have inspector name here. This is actually a ref type to the employees table. And this yellow triangle, hazard sign, whatever you want to call it, this really means, hey, the initial value that you have inside of this formula, so user email, which is my email, is not a ref. It's not showing up in the employees table. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add myself because I don't want to be fired any longer. Let's see. Let's do Clark at grease.solutions. And I'm going to steal this one. I am James, not trainer, Clark. And my role is the big boss. That's me. I'm the big boss.
Yeah, you are.
So now what I can do is I can cancel this. I can sync my application. It's going to pull that new road from over there. And oops, let's go back to my form view. And so now you'll see Clark James is now showing up without that yellow triangle there. Excuse me. So if you have any problems with those yellow triangles, it's just a ref type issue. You're going to want to check the values in those in that table. Okay. Our brand tab, very, very simple. We don't have basically anything special in here besides those cool thumbnails that we did put in. No format. Oh, we do have one format rule. So this runs always. Oh, and this is for the thumbnail. And this just changes what color that thumbnail is. So if I go to those employees, it is going to be that blue color. I could change this to whatever color I wanted. And you can even use hex colors. So Deanna, what's your favorite color?
In hex.
In hex. You know, what's your favorite color?
Oh,
I can look it up
color.
in hex.
Let's do some maroon in our lives.
Maroon hex color. So you're actually able to highlight this. I believe you do need the number sign in order to make it work. But once you put it in there, it will actually change that to the color that you wanted. So pretty neat stuff. I do like to play with those hex colors and find the one that I like the most. And even though that looks kind of ugly, I'm going to be honest with Deanna, not looking too hot.
But we could change that text color right below it, you know, make it happy again.
We actually might be able to. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do, I think white is just zeros. Is that correct?
I think so.
Nope.
No?
You were wrong. Everybody note that Deanna was incorrect. Oh, it's F's.
Hey, Clark, can hex colors work in the calendar?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, they can. If you there's some things you have to do, but they definitely can work. Or at least they used to in the past. If there's been an update since the last time I did it, don't yell at me. Cool. So that's going to be our format rule there. Options, we are starting there. Those look pretty simple. And it looks like nothing's been changed in our localized tab. So now we're going to create this action, which if you saw it in a sneak peek over here, it was called, it's on this one actually. It's called inspection form. You guys are big nerds. Thank you, Travis. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, Travis, we work hard to be big nerds.
We work hard to be big nerds.
Day in and day out. Just really.
Right. And then for a record of this table, so let me explain what this is going to do. This is just going to be a button that takes us to the inspection form for that piece of equipment. So we're going to put it on that equipment table. And then this is going to be to go to another view in this app, I believe is the one that I want to use. And we're going to do a link to form. If you haven't used this before, you will find some assistance down here at the bottom of that page in the example section. And then I believe, oh yeah, we're going to use this one. If you don't have the AppSheet Toolbox extension, you might not be seeing that nice handy dandy drop down like I was, but I definitely recommend it. And then we're going to do, what is that column called?
While he's figuring that out, I'm going to tell you that AppSheet Toolbox is available in that Chrome Web Store, completely free and a phenomenal tool. It also helps with the coloring that you see to be able to differentiate where you are in the expressions. So yeah, for sure, check that out.
He is not wrong. It is quite nice. Okay, so I have a link to form here. It's going to take us to this view. So you're actually able to see which views you have over here. And then you might have saw I was looking at the schema. So this is the column that's in the table we're going to. So our inspection table. We're going to be filling in this equipment ID based on the ID of the row that we're actually in. So that's all that is. And then let's do a nice fun clip art. For those of you who know me, you know I like to use my Batman clip art here. I think it is the best one. And then we're going to display that prominently. Make sure that that's true. I don't need a confirmation, but I could use one if I wanted to. And we're going to save this. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to my views. I'm going to look back at that equipment. And nice, it is there. If you don't see it here, you're going to want to check this action. These actions here in the view, make sure that this is the one, or at least one of the ones that is displaying. And then you should be able to click on them there. So if I click on this, it's going to take me to that vehicle inspection form for the taco truck. And we can go all the way through all of this information like so. And we do have this all pass up here. This is a pretty cool one, which I actually haven't done before. But essentially, all it is it allows you to check off if you have a technician who's doing these and they're very experienced. They kind of breeze through certain inspections or whatever, and they're able to notice that all of the exterior questions are passed. They can hit that top one. And answer all the questions all at the same time. So that's pretty neat. And we have our handy dandy inspection signature. I like to actually really try and look like I'm not in second grade anymore. And it never ever works. It always looks like I'm in second grade. So if that's you also, have no fear. It even gets the experts. So now we have that inspection for our taco truck. So there's that. So last thing that we need to do for this app before it's complete is to actually add an automation. And this is going to essentially be it's going to be that form, right? It's going to show all of the inspection questions, but you're going to be able to print it out as a PDF, send it to your customer, send it to your back of house staff, whoever needs to see it. So we are actually going to create an automation or a bot, as they call them. And we're going to call this bot new or updated inspection. Okay, so now we can customize our event. This is going to be a data change, basically always for this specific use case. If you do all changes, it also includes deletes. So I don't want that. I'm going to do just adds and updates. And then which table should have data changes that trigger the event? This is going to be our inspections table. And then our condition, I want this to always run. So although it's not necessary, I like to just have a little true condition. And then more often than not, I like to bypass security filters. It's not something that's technically necessary, but I like to do it. And then now we can define a process. So this is going to be one where we are sending out an email and creating a file. So email inspector with report, email inspector. And we're actually going to run a task, and we're going to, oh, nice, I still have that task from before. I meant to delete that, but it is what it is. So we'll create one of our own. I get kind of tired of naming everything. Email inspector. But it is what it is. So we have inspection. Make sure that your table name does work on the same as your event. Now, if you are trying to use dynamic email, I know we had a question about that before, but this is where you would do it. That view does need to be either be, I believe it needs to be a detail view in order for it to work. Detail and form, perfect. So it needs to be a detail and form, and then you have a button inside of your view types that actually allows you to turn on dynamic emails for that type of view. And then once that is turned on, you're able to select that specific view there. But we're
Clark,
not going to do that today. Yes.
can you backtrack about 30 seconds and walk through probably from run this process and what you filled out on?
From here?
Yeah.
For sure. So
I don't think you need to redo it if you just want to talk through it again.
yeah, for sure. So we did name it here. And then whenever you are creating a step, which is a piece of a process, right? So you have a process is going to be your Big Daddy, and then you got your steps are going to be inside of that process. They run with it. So for us, we created a step here. You can name it whatever you want. But in order for it to create a file or to send a text message or to call a webhook, to et cetera, you are going to need to run a task. This differs from data actions because data actions are actually your actions in the behavior tab, right? So this inspection form that we created with the Batman symbol, this is a data action, right? Whereas these are going to be tasks. So for us, we're trying to create an automation that sends an email to the inspector with that report that he just finished. So for here, we want to declare who we're going to send it to. I hope that was good enough, Travis. And if not, hit me up again. We can go more in depth. But so you do want to have a to address. I'm going to use user email. And we're going to make this into a formula here. And so that what that does is whoever submits that inspection, it is going to be sent to their specific email. So that is why I like to use this. You can also, if you disable default content, you can also CC people. So For instance, let's look at our user table. Stefan. Yep, we're going to use Stefan because he's the big boss. He's the second big boss. I'm the big boss, and he's the second big boss.
A good dream.
Yeah. And so we are going to put his name in this field here. It can be either the formula or it can be the text, but if it is the formula, just know you will have to have double quotes on either side, separating that there. And then for the rest of your email content, it's pretty straightforward for the most part. I'm actually going to pull this up big here so it's easier to see. But we have that send an email, what it does, who's it going to send to, and then here's our email content, which you are able to change any of these things on your own. Now you might be seeing all of these weird double carets on either side of these things. And you say, what is that? Well, that's a great question. What those things do, those less than, greater than symbols do, is that tells AppSheet, hey, this is a formula, right? So it says, if I put, okay, so a lot of you have probably seen this now formula. It takes the current timestamp of whatever time zone that you're in, excuse me. It's going to take that current timestamp and it's just going to paste that value in there. So this tells AppSheet that it's working with an expression, with a formula, and it needs to evaluate to that value. So those can be anything you want. For instance, our email subject, we're going to do equipment name. So new inspection for equipment name. And this does need to be on the same table as whatever your automation is. So our automation is running off the inspections table. These formulas need to be basically run off of the same table. There are ways to get information using lookups, using any selects, or using dereferences. But those are the best ways to do those here. Email body, we're just going to copy paste. I think this is more than enough information. Reply to, usually I just do no reply at appsheet.com. And our from display, this can be whatever you want it to be, but I'm just going to do that. Okay, pre-header, we're going to put that in again. And then we do have the option here to actually paste in an email body template, which means I don't actually want this. I did create one beforehand because I don't think we definitely would not have had enough time to build this from scratch. So I do have one here ready for us. And as soon as I save it, it is going to populate here with a view. Oh, actually, I can put we're just going to have it just like this. All right. And so for those of you who haven't done templates before, I do recommend that on-demand training we have. It can get really tricky really, really fast. In my opinion, this is one of my favorite aspects of AppSheet. It's that template generation, but it definitely can get tiresome. They are both the best and the worst thing about AppSheet in my expertise, just because of how much pain and suffering you can get from one template, as well as how much joy you can get. So for this template, it is using those same carets, those less than, greater than symbols. Again, that is just telling AppSheet that it's a formula. And so this is that dereference that I was talking about. It's going to pull the first and last name from the employees table So that's pretty nice. And then it's actually going to pass these in as checks or X's based on some things that we did in our column structure and in our database. So pretty cool stuff there. And let's, I think I answered all those questions, right? Oh, well, let's just run it. So I'm going to make another inspection. We're going to do it for the red Toyota sedan. And we're not going to pass all of our documentation. Our heating's going to be off. This one we pass. And then again, perfect. Can't get better than that right there. Let me underline it. Okay, so now that we are saving this, it should email me, even since it's not deployed, it's going to email it to me either way, hopefully. And there it is. I can pull this open in a new window, and I can show you what this change report actually looks like. So we do have those X's and checks like so. As I said before, it has our name, it pulls our sedan, and it has my beautiful signature. This is my real signature that I use on all credit card applications, etc. This is the one, so don't steal it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this demo. If you are interested in learning more about how to do some of this stuff, those X's and checks are pretty cool, in my opinion. We do have that on demand. Honestly, Deanna, you should probably talk, because I'm just going to talk and nobody's going to know what I'm talking about.
I got you. So if you're wanting to build a vehicle inspection app from start to finish and generate the report and everything, we do have that on demand available. If you are brand new to AppSheet and really just needing some direction, then I would encourage you to do AppSheet Essentials with us. That is a live boot camp. And the next one is February 9th. And then next week, if you have apps and you're like, I know some things about AppSheet, you're wanting to enhance those apps, we have Expression Mastery, which is next Wednesday, which is also one of our live boot camps. And then advanced templates, as Clark said, are one of our faves here at AppSheet Training, and that on demand is available to you at any time. Yeah, all of those trainings are fantastic. You know, we have to say so, you know, it's just a great thing. But that being said, if you are like, I'm not sure what training to enroll in, where I'm at, what I need, or if AppSheet is the right thing for me, if that's you, I want to encourage you to sign up for a tech talk with Austin, have that one-on-one meeting with him, tell him about what you're trying to do. He'll build a use case with you and walk you through the best path forward for working with us here at appsheettraining.com. So we hope you've enjoyed this today. We hope it was super informative. We're going to send you the template and all from this webinar today. But otherwise, Clark, do you have anything else, bud?
I don't think so. If you do need to get in touch with Austin, he did post his Calendly link here. I assume it's fine if I give out his email address, which is austin@crewtech.
Yeah. And Travis, to answer your question, that advanced templates is an on-demand course. So if you head on over to appsheettraining.com and then on demand at the top, you can make that purchase from there. Yeah. If you have any questions about any of that, you're welcome to email us, let us know. Again, a tech talk might be your best bet for answering bigger questions, but yeah, we hope you were entertained. I'm glad we hired Clark again after firing him apparently. So,
no, I'm done after this. Sorry, guys. I'm signing off after this.
I'm not sure that Austin's going to let us back on here, but
yeah, no, he definitely won't.
We're just trying
after I
things
ruined
over
the
here.
slide too. It's
But y'all have a wonderful week. Thank you for joining us. We will be back here. Well, some of us will be back here
not me.
next week on Thursday. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you again. Oh, yes, Travis, we will also send you the app template for this that you can absolutely copy and hijack and have a blast with. So that'll be coming your way as well as a quick reference guide, if I can speak, a quick reference guide to walking you through some of that app development. So
it would look something like this. Sorry, I have my special dark mode on. If you don't have a dark mode extension, you're not doing Chrome right. But it will look something like this. Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Deanna.
So this is something that Austin made as he was actually building the app to walk through the step-by-steps. I do have to mention, we do free webinars, but we also do free blog posts. And this is a lot like what a blog post would feel like. It walks you through the how and the why of certain aspects of an app build. So it's just another free resource we provide for you if you're interested. So sign up that AppSheet training account and yeah, get all the free things. But we will send you all these resources today.
All right. So you have videos teaching the PDF template with table layouts. Yes, we do actually have a lot of guides. I believe we have a couple on YouTube. But we definitely also have some on-demand paths as well. And if you are looking for something like that, like I said, definitely recommend reaching out to Austin for those tech talks. And he can help guide you on. It's a free tech talk. They're free 15-minute conversations is what they are. And he's going to be able to help you get the information that you need to succeed with AppSheet. So definitely recommend. Thank you, M. Tercy. I appreciate it. William Keller can yes. Sorry, we already answered that question. Cool. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's it, guys. Unless there's one more question, we're actually going to go ahead and sign out and see you guys next week. No problem, Matthias. Cool. All right. Well, y'all have a great day.
Thank you.